Today I will be a little bit too honest about myself. And yes, I did cut my beard. I decided that I don't like how it looks after wearing mask for a prolonged period of time, and I have to wear a mask for a prolonged period of time from time to time, which is why, yeah, shorter beard for life, or at least for some time. But coming back to the topic, I am a coward. At some point I just had to look in the mirror and say it to myself because yes, I'm not a very courageous person. Although I appear to be one, but I am not one. More about why it is like that and how does it influence my life in today's video. Let's start. But obviously before we begin, I have to tell you that this is Yury Experience, and here I share my various experiences about different topics. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Okay, I actually promised you the reasons why I am a coward, but I'm not completely sure why. Maybe it is because of my strict upbringing. Maybe it is because I was slightly but bullied at school. Maybe because I didn't have a lot of self-confidence until some specific point in my life. Which is why, I'm not sure why, but I think all of these things together made me to a person who I am right now. And yes, I'm kinda a coward. And yes, I know that my height is 1.86 meters, and I know that I'm quite strong as a person because I have muscles and I work on them. So I know that I have some power in these machines. But believe me, your appearance is one thing, but how do you feel is a completely different thing. How you will behave in some critical situation is completely different thing. And I know about myself that I will try to avoid confrontations. I will do my best to think ahead. How can I avoid it? How can I avoid that? How can I maybe look so in a specific way so the confrontation doesn't come to me? How can I live my life without the need to feel coward as a coward? So how can I live my life without being in a situation where I will probably need to do something that a lot of people would consider cowardly? I hope it is a word. One possible reason why I am a coward is the fact that I don't have a lot of fighting experience. And yes, now I'm talking about physical confrontation with a person, fighting, hitting, whatnot, and I don't have experience like that. Yes, my childhood was in Russia and in Ukraine, and yes, both of these countries had quite an amount of angry people in them during the period of life where I was growing up. But I was lucky. I lived in a quite good neighborhood. I was cared by my parents. I didn't really had to interact in this evil or fighting way with other people. And that is not the experience that I want to try to gather right now. So I don't want to gather it anymore. I would prefer to avoid that experience. I would prefer not to participate in a fight if it is possible. If it is unavoidable, it is a different topic, and I will talk about that in a moment. But if I can avoid the fight in some specific way, maybe talking, maybe holding the person, literally holding the person, I'm quite a strong person. Maybe asking the friends of the person to stop the person. If I can find a way, then I will probably use that way. And the way of avoiding of a confrontation that a lot of people assign to cowards is running away. And here I mean literally running away from a fight. A person comes at you and wants to fight you, and you run away. And I will do it. I will do it. I thought about that a lot of friends of mine, that if I am alone in a fight with another person, maybe with 2 people, with a group of people where I don't know the environment, where I don't know these people, and I see an opportunity to run away, I will run away. You will not see me running. I will run away as fast as you freaking can. And I have reasons for that. First one, you need to think twice before you participate in a fight with a lot of unknown variables. There can be a friend of that person with whom you are fighting who will jump in, and then they will both beat you up. Or maybe that person has a knife, or maybe that person has a gun, or maybe something else. There are way too many unknown variables. So why shall I risk, maybe with my health, maybe with my life, to fight that person for, you need to do a lot to bring me to participate in a fight. So for unknown reasons, I don't see a reason to risk with something so precious to me on what I work continuously. I eat healthy, I go to sport, and then just like participate in a fight, get a knife in my stomach and like... Second reason why I would probably run away is I don't want to be hurt. I think it is pretty logical feeling. I don't want that other people hit me. I don't want that other people hurt me, like in a really crazy way. There are some sexual ways about that, or like some friendly ways, but speaking of literal hurting, I don't want to be hurt. I think it makes sense. And the third reason, I want to avoid hurting other people. And it is not really empathic reason, because the main reason why I want to avoid it is so I don't overdo it. Thanks to the fact that I have some medical background, not a huge one, but still some, I know that hitting people can lead to a lot of crazy stuff, and even some small hit of a person, small punch into the stomach, can lead to so many problems if there are like a lot of other factors involved. I don't want to be a reason why that person cannot walk anymore, or cannot eat solid food anymore, or cannot live anymore. If that person dies, I don't want to be the reason for that. Especially knowing the fact that I'm kinda a strong person and I know where to hit because I know basic anatomy. So like, why? Again, why would I risk with my freedom or with my psychological like happiness? Because my psychological happiness would be kinda, maybe not destroyed, but influenced by the fact that I killed a person or I destroyed a life of a person. I'm way better now with my cowardice than I was like 10 years ago in my teens. Now I understand it better and I know a little bit better how to deal with different situations. And in one video about self-defense, I even saw a person saying, have a talk with your partner about self-defense. What happens, what both of you shall do if an attack from outside happens. And it can be anything. It can be a person with a gun that is walking to your car, or it can be just car driving by, or whatnot. Did you have a talk with your partner? What will both of you do? And my cowardice brings me to the idea that I have to have a talk with my partner about that. What will happen? And probably what will happen, my partner will shout a lot and I will like do my best to defend her during the process. So she brings attention to the situation and I'll do my best like that we survive until help comes. But the point is, these talks are extremely important because then you are on the same page. If you see a trouble happening, if you see trouble coming at you, you know what you shall do. Both of you. You know your roles, you know specifics, you know what happens, you don't need to think about it, you don't need to think, okay, shall I jump in or shall I not jump in? No, we discussed it already. We both know, okay, we take more a defensive approach or offensive approach or whatnot. I don't know who you are, maybe you can fight people outside of your house. I would prefer not to do it. But the point is, if both of you are on the same page, it increases the probability that you will come out of this interaction healthy and alive. And it is important. In conclusion, I would say, yes, I'm a coward and I agree with that. Still, I think that my definition of being a coward depends way too much on what society thinks people shall do. Not what people shall realistically do, but what society thinks people shall do. It is this whole heroical stuff, it is whole I will jump in and defend everybody from everybody. And it doesn't work like that. Real life doesn't work like that. Sometimes it works, and a lot of other times it doesn't work. You need to think what you are doing. You need to think when you are jumping in. Do you even help during the process? Or maybe it would be better to first call police and like maybe speak loudly so they hear it. I don't know. But in my personal opinion, your death or your hurting or destroying your life is very, very rarely a good reason to participate in a fight or in confrontation. Obviously, I wouldn't say don't help others. Do it. I am a big promoter of the idea, let's help other people. Let's help other people in need. But know what you are doing and understand that some actions have consequences. And if that consequences is your life, maybe it is way too much to handle. Maybe you want to do it and you do you. I personally like my life. I have some problems with it, but I like my life. I like my body, I like my health. So like in good amounts. And the point is, I don't want to destroy it. And if I see that the risk of destroying it is higher than any profit to any of the parties involved, I think I shall not participate. That is my idea. Even though it is something that some people would call being a coward. I would better be a coward, at least to some degree, than being a dead person. The degree to which you want to be coward is something personal for each person, but think about it. What are you ready to give away to maybe help other people or maybe to hurt other people? That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it is the case, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Except for that, you can leave also a comment. Have a great weekend. I see you on Monday. Yeah.